Today's episode is at Mad Greens in Scottsdale, Arizona. They're committed to helping people eat better by sourcing local ingredients straight from area farms, bakeries, and dairies. And my personal favorite dishes here are the Edgar Allan Poe and Mad Molly Brown. My guest on the show today is Kelly Schmidt. He's been a personal trainer for almost 20 years and is actually the guy that I hired to kick my butt. This guy's put more people on stage than Dr. Dre. My name's Mike, and I help fitness studios that are ready to take action, work hard, and grow their studios. In this very saturated industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests in the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the GSD Show.
Thank you so much.
Very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Looks good. What'd you order?
I got a salad and I got a Annie Oakley with chicken, bacon, avocado, Swiss, and a little bit of greens.
You like it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I like this better than pizza or burger, probably.
I call bullshit on that.
That's the truth.
You know how I know I'm a better salesperson than my parents were? Because I'm able to convince myself that I can eat a bowl of vegetables. My parents were never able to do that with me. This wasn't happen. You started your training profession when you were what?
20 years old.
20 years old?
20.
Why'd you get into it?
Honestly, I graduated high school at 115 pounds, so I was short and little. I knew I wasn't going to change being short or tall, so I thought if I can get some muscles on me, that might help my cause. So I got into working out when I was about 16 years old, and it took off from there. I found a passion with fitness, and I got into it professionally at 20 years old, and it's all I've ever done.
Where did you start? How did you start training? You didn't just do it independent at first, right?
No, I actually, I kind of started helping people, but I didn't really know, at that time, I didn't really know what worked for everybody else. I knew what was working for me at that time as a 20-year-old young man with extremely fast metabolism. So kind of started learning, and I was actually going to school for dental hygiene. I was trying to get into the dental hygiene program, and I took some classes that correlated with training certification, and pulling that together, the education side with my own experience side, kind of got me into thinking I might like to do it. I got a job with Pure Fitness when I was 20 years old as a personal trainer.
Which is funny that we didn't cross paths.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I got my start, really, on the business side of things. So from there, more certifications and things like that. But I ended up with them for about 4 years, and then continued on with other things, which led to me ultimately working for myself.
And I wanted you on the show because you closed me. And it's funny that you closed me because just weeks before you closing me, I had told another place that was a third of the price that you were that I couldn't afford it. And I wasn't lying. I really couldn't. So when I looked at the pricing, I sat down with them. They took me through the programs and the different options. And I looked at it and I just didn't see me spending that money right now. I have a baby on the way. I have my business, and so I decided I just couldn't afford it. And I told them that, and they believed me, and I was telling the truth. I didn't make any more money in the next couple of weeks. I mean, my income didn't significantly change. I was able to pay 3 times more than what I said I couldn't afford, and I hired you, and I've been with you now for 5 months. What did you do?
I think what I do is I build a real value and an understanding for what a client or a consumer wants. So, we met, right? We went over your goals, needs, wants, things that were important to you, things that you wanted to change. We discussed a game plan. I kind of painted the picture for you as to the reality of what could happen if you invested in yourself and, the programs I offer. And I don't believe I really closed you. I just think I presented a really good product to you that, you felt you couldn't resist, So
I believe that, but you closed me with it.
Yeah.
We'll be honest, you closed me. But it was good. You did all the right things, and I didn't feel like you closed me, which is a really good thing. I didn't realize till later that you did. But I think the thing that I was fascinated by the most when I met with you is your perspective on things. Talk about the perspective, because I think that's one of the things that makes it easy for me to stick with you, which obviously helps your clientele and your overall book of business.
I like using the analogies, things like that, whether it be pizza, burger, foods, whatever. I mean, we can all eat all those things, right? But how many people are actually seeing their abs? That's something that's important to you. You want to see your midsection. Well, we're not going to expose that midsection by you eating pizza and burgers and all the things everybody else is doing. So I think for a consumer that's relatable, right, or a client, because there's something that's important to you. And we've got to realize that, yeah, you can do this, but you know, in order for you to get to where you want to be, we're maybe not going to be able to do that to get you where you want. So it's an honesty approach, but using an analogy that's realistic to you and that you can understand. Because you can have one or the other, but you're not going to be able to have both initially starting out. And you've got to understand that, you know.
So walk me through when you first sit down with a person, what questions do you ask them, and really, what do you think it is that gets them to really see you as a value?
You know, I ask all the basic stuff, I guess, as a trainer or a fitness professional that you would. Health issues, medical issues, structural issues, anything I need to be aware of that could impede our progress or success to, you know, a program. And then I find out what you really want because, you know, especially with my business and what I do, you're not coming to see me because you just want to talk. You're coming to see me because you have a need or a want, something that you want my help to address. So I want to know what that is so that I can facilitate, you know, a program that's ideal to you specifically and what you're wanting to do. If you're looking to lose weight and I'm trying to put muscle on you or vice versa, it's not really going to work. So my thing is really finding out what the person sitting in front of me wants. Why are you here? And that's one of the first things I ask people a lot of times. You know.
So let's say you ask that and I say, I want to lose weight.
Right.
What's the next thing? Because I got to imagine other trainers in studios.
Right, okay, so good question. I say, what does that mean to you? Explain that to me, because I want to know, what does losing weight to you feel? Do I want to see my abs? You know, some people may want to lose 30 pounds of body fat, and even at that, abs still may not be a realistic goal. For someone like yourself, I want to know, what's losing weight to you mean? Well, I want to see my abs. Okay, well, I know in order for you to see your abs, we're going to probably need to have you at 9 to 11% body fat, somewhere in there. So I have a realistic goal to work with and also a time frame to give you so you can kind of be expectant of what's going to happen or what's going to be necessary on your end.
Okay.
You know, if you're 350 pounds and you go, I want to see abs, I may have to tell you we're looking at a 2-year project, maybe even more, maybe less, depending on how our program goes, but we've got to be more realistic with what we're looking to do. So
yeah, and I've noticed too with what you just said, that's exactly the way you communicate online as well.
Right.
I see the 15-day challenge, 21-day transformation, right? And people are having these transformations. They say we can, lose 30 pounds in 21 days or 30 days or 60 days. And it's crazy what they're saying. Your approach is very different. I've seen your posts, and that's actually how I found you, is through social media, all organic. You don't even do any paid advertising. Everything's organic that you do, which is incredible. But you post stuff like, you know, before and after of a guy that had a really good transformation, and you say, just so you guys know, this wasn't a 90-day or a 60-day or a 30-day transformation. This was 9 months of hard work, commitment, and effort. I'm very proud of him for putting all this, the sacrifices that he's made. You know, and I think that's one of the reasons you're starting to get so many customers, so many clients, not just locally, but online clients, because that's part of your business blowing up too.
That's about half of my business right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, because a lot of people that fall for that have already fallen for that. And so it resonates with them, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't fall for the 30-day or 60-day thing. Maybe that's really what it takes.
Right.
And so they take it more seriously, and they come in, and, you know, I think it's easier for you to set those expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I think one of the things that I told you last time we were working out is, I think the thing that makes it very, very easy to consider you as a part of my life now, like my dentist or my doctor or anything else, like I don't see there being an end to our relationship. I definitely know that you really care about my goals. You ask me the right questions. I think the first thing you ask me all the time is how are your foods, you know, and you definitely hold me accountable, but you make me laugh throughout the class, and you're not doing it intentionally, but you ask funny things, and I think this is stuff that a lot of people can implement. So one of the things, you do it at least once a workout, sometimes twice, where I'm like bent over, like tired. I just finished doing like a crazy set because I thought I was going to do 20 and you maybe do 25. And then afterwards I could barely breathe, and you go, you know what that is? And you get real low when you look up and you know what that is? And I go, what? It's success. And now I expect it, right?
Yeah,
but it's so weird at that moment, because I'm in pain and you're over here happy and smiling, but
Right.
it comes from a really good place. And you have a really cool angle, little things. I'll be working out and I take a second break. I just want to stop doing this tricep extension for 1 second. And then you go, I thought you came here to work out.
Yeah.
What are you here for? And then, of course, I got to keep going.
Right.
Or you'll put on my favorite song. I notice you've done that. You've put on, when you see that I'm kind of sluggish or when I'm not like 100% going like I usually do, you'll put my song on, Biggie.
Right.
You'll put my song on because you know that gets me going.
Yeah.
And so I think those little attention to detail, you're very aware of where I'm at, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. And that keeps me balanced throughout the workout to where I always walk out of there knowing I got a great workout.
Right.
Is that something that you pay attention to, or you naturally do?
I really, yes, I do, but I didn't realize it in the scope of how I'm doing it until you kind of pointed it out to me. My thing has always been there's trainers everywhere, right? It's like real estate agents. They're all over the place. So what workouts are all the same. Foods are all the same. How we put them together can be a little bit different, but at the foundation of all that, it's all the same stuff. So when somebody comes to me, I want them to have an experience. I want them to not only get a great workout, but enjoy the workout. And I put that energy into it. So those things I say to you, I mean it. First of all, when I say it to you, when you're hunched over and you're, I live this stuff myself. So when I say that success to you, that is success. Like, right. I feel that, and I know what that feels like, and there's no better feeling than that for me. So, I bring that over to you because, some people are like, oh, gosh, I'm dying or whatever, and it's like, no, you're not. You're doing something awesome for yourself. You're not dying, and,
right.
and when you change that mindset, it changes their mindset, and they're like, yeah, I'm ready, and they feed off of my vibe. So, yes, I know I do it, but I didn't know I did it in the scope that you kind of pointed it out to me, but I do. I want to offer an experience, and I don't want people to think that this is hard, because I'm never going to make somebody work out of the scope of what they can do, but I'm going to push them, and when they know, like, another thing I like saying is if someone stops and takes a break like you with the tricep extension, I like to look around and go, did my machine break? Because I don't know why you're stopping. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, that's another one I like to do. It keeps it lighthearted. They forget and they keep going. So for me, it's the experience. And when they come there, it's like, yeah, I had a great workout, but I kind of had fun while I was doing it too. And the guy motivates me. Like, how's it going to be when you stop and I go, seriously? Or I just don't care that you stopped,
Right.
I want to keep you going. And also me going, dude, go. That's not real motivating either, right? So I've found little ways that people do laugh, people do kind of have fun with it, and you can't really tell me to screw off because I'm right.
Yeah.
So it's evolved out of, I guess, necessity, over 16 years of doing this. So, and now that you pointed out, I really do realize I do it quite a bit,
Which is a good thing. And so we kind of talked about this a little, but what a lot of people don't realize how much laughter plays a role in a sales process. And you're still selling me, right? You didn't just sell me, that's it, your job's over. You're selling me every time I go into that gym to work out with you, because I have to be convinced, one, that you're definitely the guy I got to continue with, and two, that I got to continue with working out in general. Not just you, but in general, I got to work out. But when you laugh, your muscles that fire from smiling actually trigger chemicals in the brain that release serotonin, which means it puts you in a better mood automatically. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize is laughter and trust are very heavily linked. So I want you to think about somebody you don't trust at all. I don't know if you have anybody that you just don't trust.
I don't keep those people around me.
I know, but if you had to think of a person in your past, can you think of somebody you just don't trust?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can that person genuinely make you laugh?
Nope.
Just can't happen, right?
Yeah. No,
because
you're right.
If you don't trust somebody, you can't laugh at them. It would be fake, right?
Right.
But the funny thing is, your brain can't tell if this is the cause or the effect. So if you can make somebody laugh, you can actually trick the brain into believing that they're starting to trust you, which is really great. And so you did a really good job of making me laugh, not just in the intro when we first met, but every workout you find a way to make me laugh, which continues to increase the trust factor that I have with you. What was that thing you did with, like the dumbbell or the barbell or something?
So you talked about weight loss, right? So when somebody comes in, I deal with everything, you name it. One of the things I like to do, and I've been doing it for as long as I've been doing this, is, so I want to lose weight, right? Okay. A lot of people don't understand, or when they say I want to lose 30 pounds, okay, or 50, let's call it 50. What does that mean to you? Okay, what does that feel like? How is 50 pounds tangible to somebody?
Right.
I work in a gym with weights, okay? So what I'll do when somebody says they want to lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, and I have clients that will attest to me doing this, I go, come over here. Have them hold 50 pounds worth of weights. Have them walk around. I kind of talk, keep it lighthearted, go on to other things, whatever. And they're like, what am I doing? That's the weight you want to lose. That's how much weight you have that you want to lose, and we probably got even more than that. So I've made it tangible. I've made it real for them. They're like, oh my God, this is a lot of weight, 50 pounds, right? So for me, that's one of those things from a closing standpoint, realistic standpoint, whatever the case may be, that I make it real in their mind that, wow, this is bad that I'm carrying this much weight around and I need to get it off of me.
Right.
So that's one of the things I like to do.
50 pounds is heavy when you're holding like
30
that,
pounds. 30 pounds is heavy. I mean, imagine lugging that around all day. So when we're talking about weight loss, what better way to, describe what they're looking to do by having them hold on to, this is the extra weight you're carrying. Could you imagine how good you would feel if you lost this and gained some muscle, endurance, and your overall quality of life?
That's that perspective.
Exactly, the perspective. So
that you really talk about. That's cool. I know you ask specific questions when you first sit down with somebody, why do you want to lose the weight? Has anybody ever given you some funky reasons or funny reasons or anything as far as why they want to work with you?
Hands down. So why, right? Why is this important to you? Why now? What are we doing? 16 years of doing this, hands down, this is a really easy question. They want to look good naked. Male, female, young, old, whatever the case may be, people want to look good naked.
Out of everything, not that they don't feel better.
It surpasses weight loss, it surpasses all these things. Yeah, I myself stay in pretty good shape. I don't mind looking at myself naked, but I could imagine if you were out of shape or you were unhappy with yourself, every time you walk to the shower or whatever and you see yourself, you go, ugh, right? Because we can keep that stuff covered up with clothes. So by far and away, that response there, I got it this morning, and it's like people talk
happens
about,
that often?
Oh, yeah. So when I ask somebody, it's like, I just want to look good naked. I want to feel good naked, and that's
what do you say when they say that?
Depending on what the goal is, I say, whatever we do, weight loss, tone you up, you're going to feel good naked. You're going to look good naked. This is, that's something that's important to them. So
you just can't measure it. Well, I guess you can measure it, but
the people can.
Tina probably won't
the
like
people
it.
Can, yeah. But the people can too. And I mean, it's one of those, once again, those visual, tangible things, personal, very personal to them that, can also be utilized as, hey, are you looking good naked yet? Are you to your goals? Are you looking good naked yet? So that is one thing that I'm always amazed by still that comes up consistently.
If you can mentor yourself 10 years ago, because I'm assuming you're a better closer now than you were then, what would you say to yourself? Because there's people in your shoes where you were 10 years ago now. What would you say to yourself to say these are the things you should focus on if you really want to scale your business up the way I have?
Truth, honesty, and realistic goals. Okay, just like you said, 30-day challenges. Those are cool to get people involved, but when you're looking at longevity, client retention, a lot of people are promoting those things because, let's face it, this day and age, our world, everybody wants a quick fix, right? Everybody's got a 30-day, 5-week, whatever the case may be. If someone's going to take, if somebody's going to take, if it's going to take somebody a year to get to where they need to be, it's your responsibility to be honest with them and tell them what it's going to take as a professional to get there. So the biggest thing with me is honesty, truth, and passion. You have to, as a coach, trainer, fitness individual, you've got to believe in it. So if you're sloppy, if you're eating crappy, if you don't believe in the product you're selling, you're automatically losing people right there. You'll get some people, for sure. But people that stay with you for 10, 15, 16 years, you need to practice what you preach. And that's one thing I tell everybody is practice what you preach. If you're in this industry, sorry, you don't have to be a competitor in that kind of shape, but you have to believe in it, and be honest and truthful with people. If it's going to take somebody a year to get them where they want to be, don't tell them you're going to do it in 30 days, because you're lying to them. So going back, and that's one thing I've always done. I've always been truthful, but I've honed the skills. But be honest and practice what you preach. Those could be two of the biggest things.
Because every time I go to the gym, you're there. So.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm probably going to take this to go. This is a bigger salad than I expected.
I got too.
Yeah? Thanks, man.
For sure.